Friday, May the 9th, 2025, and I'm down in Thurston, northwest Suffolk, on the border of Cambridge almost, up near Bury St Edmunds, and about to undertake approximately 8 miles officially, but I hope to stretch it out a bit to probably nearer 10. Country walking magazines, Thornton and Rougham Suffolk walk. Lovely day again. Cracking. Yeah, so interruption there from the loudspeaker. Lovely day for it. It's about 11:45. Using a GPX track today. Was toying with doing it in reverse for logistical reasons, but with only one church on this walk doesn't really help, and that church comes early on. So once again it will be wishful hoping for another oasis to pop up, really. Let's see what transpires. There is quite a stiff breeze today from the southeast east, about 29-30 mile an hour in gusts, so that may come across on the commentary, but otherwise it's a beautiful day. No rain though, once again, not that I'm complaining just yet. Village sign, and in the background the Fox and Hounds public house. A suitable venue if you miss the hourly train service back to Cambridge later, or even Ipswich. So immediately after the railway bridge, which you come under, take this footpath, turning left, and we're underway into the countryside almost immediately from the station. Kind of walk I like. And the aroma from this hawthorn is wonderful. Probably at its peak now, unfortunately. Plenty of birdsong again as well, which is a good sign. More new homes being built all around Thornton, I noticed, or Thurston even. Get it right in a second. There's been some reconfiguration of the road here, obviously with that housing estate in mind. So the brief notes that accompany the GPX track aren't quite accurate. But I'm now stood in Fishwick Corner. We're in woodland. Always like that. And even on a Friday lunchtime, this road is pretty busy, I would point out. This route is devised by Phoebe Taplin again. She usually incorporates road walking into her walks. Now entering the Rougham estate. With its lodge house on my right. Very pleasant coniferous avenue this. Not sure what the conifers are. Scots pine possibly. Spruce. Anyway, very pleasant, nice aroma coming off them. Bit of chi. Now, though it may look very pretty and stands out like a sore thumb, that rhododendron needs removing. Non-native, spreads like wildfire, and the Victorians have a lot to answer for with it. Approaching the busy A14, which we crossed shortly. Okay, cattle with calves. they're not to be contended with right now, but I will have to deal with it later if I'm to do the route as per the GPX, because I'm just going over the A14 now, and that footpath there is the way back. So let's see what transpires. And there's a bull in there as well. Very much depends on the breed though. Not sure what they are, but they might be a placid or more placid breed. You just can't tell. And it ain't worth the risk. Good old farmers reinstated this field, as they should do. Well done. So apart from those cattle that are blocking the way later, it's been mainly cereal fields, and the lack of bird song, apart from certain little pockets, is evident. So I think one must conclude that the chemicals used on the fields to enable Tesco's and the like to supply us with bread, processed bread, is clearly having an influence on Mother Nature. No flies, no birds. Terrible, really. And yet last week we saw a good example of good practice from the RSPB. Wonderful. We have Rougham Church, name of which I do not know at the minute. Comes a tad early in the walk for lunch. And here we have the War Memorial. Very poignant this week, being the 80th anniversary of VE Day yesterday. God rest their souls. And much gratitude. I certainly have respect for what they did. And as usual, the number of fallen in the Second World War is minuscule compared to the Great War previously. Simply weren't enough births in the 20 years after the Great War, I would guess. Looks like the church is open, that's good. All the VE Day celebrations here at the back, in front of the bell tower. Lovely ceiling. Lots of handcrafting going on there. Amazing. So sad that yesterday's 80th is likely to be the last where we have actual survivors in their early hundreds, late 90s, many of them. Yeah, let's have a look at the old organ again, that inscription. 1900. Yeah, lovely. Yeah. 1632, I think that says. This is in the storm porch now, which doesn't appear to be the main entrance. Wind's starting to pick up. No clock on this one. It's coming up 1 o'clock though. Now a different kind of aroma. Equally one that doesn't annoy me though, thankfully. Rape. Seems to overpower all other aromas, mind. Then amongst the rape, we've got a little patch of red campion, I believe. Butterflies certainly seem to like it. The old chiff chaff in the background. These little low level pylons don't seem to encroach on the landscape too badly. Wonder if they might be able to use those to transfer the energy down through the other side of Suffolk from the proposed power station. They're saying going underground is too pricey, but these might be a solution. They probably can't hold enough power though, that's the problem, I dare say. More new housing on the edge of Rougham here. There you go, you get a better view of their the run there. Not very intrusive at all, really. Passing the village shop at Rougham. And the village sign. So opposite house number 53 there, which is a few hundred yards up from the shop, take these steps up into a field. Just make out the church tower there in the distance. Chiff chaff in the background, but aside from the chiff chaff, the black cap and the odd white throat, not hearing much on this walk, nor seeing much either. Seen a couple of house martins, still no swifts. I've seen a swallow locally, but generally speaking they are down in number, as I suspected. Okay, I'm stood here on Oak Lane on the map, and my onward journey per the GPX track is right here. When looking at this walk, I did contemplate extending it by a mile or two by going left down Oak Lane, but because of the potential cattle issue looming, I don't think I'm going to bother extending it today, because it could be the case that I need that time to get past those cattle. I can't see any alternative routes near the cattle either, other than going back the way I came, which I don't really want to do, because that cuts out a good chunk of the walk, about 25%. So let's find somewhere to have a bite to eat and contemplate the situation. First bridge and stile of the day, and looking down there in the ditch, very dry, only a trickle. Yeah. Interesting, there's a picnic table there, talking about my oasis earlier. Sports ground, but how do I get in there? Well, someone's conveniently placed a little footbridge there, so that's where I'll have my lunch. Perfect. In the shade as well. So 2 o'clock, lunch has been had, albeit that table was a bit breezy. The hole in the hedge there for some reason. Anyway, another oasis popped up just at the right time. Someone's looking down on me. Whilst having lunch, I noticed not one swallow. Normally they should be dive bombing over this field, catching flies, but nothing. Very worrying. And I know they're around, as we saw a few on the list last week. And I have seen 1 or 2, but yeah, they should all be back by now. Off on the left now, over that footbridge, leaving our onward journey there behind. Pleasant field edge walking at the moment. Evidence of more new housing over there. Looks like onions in. Nice, what's that? Yeah, I don't know what's growing in there. Could be onions. Luckily there's another herd over there that I don't have to contend with. But they're very interested in me, obviously, because of the calves that they've got. Fortunately, my onward journey's over this stile and away from them. No, it wasn't onions that I saw, it was wheat. Very thinly spaced. Interesting contrast down here. You can get wheat in one field and then cattle in another. A good percentage of the trees down here are oaks, which is lovely to see. And here are those unintrusive pylons again. Some beehives over there. Wonderful old farm pond here. Probably full of tadpoles. Can't see much evidence of that though. Now following a hedged byway, and I can see evidence of my first other walkers today. Walking past Middle Wood. And as usual, those 2 walkers had dogs, but they weren't really in control of them. Another one of my bugbears. Then down another hedged in byway, passing the back of houses at Newthorpe on the map. Back on the Rougham estate, this bit being Blackthorpe Barn, Blackthorpe being the village I've just left behind me, and I notice there's a barn and cafe ahead. One of the old long barns. Roots Cafe. Probably read about that on Google. One good thing about this walk, aside from the A14 there, which we're just about to go over again, there's been very little noise, man-made or otherwise. So this A14 splits the Rougham estate in half, really. God knows how they got planning permission for this. But there you go, they probably didn't. Compulsory purchase, I should imagine. Right, that's annoying. Those cattle have not moved an inch. And they're all gathered around the, or very close to the gate as well that I need to get through. What shall I do? I might go down there and see what they're about. Looks like they're resting up, but I can't see it. I reckon they'll be on my shoulder, breathing down my neck, if I try to get through there. Yeah, there's a bull there, sitting down, taking it easy, with his harem and kids about him. Not a good combination. And there's the gate I need to get through. I think I'll have to find an alternative route somehow, although looking on the map earlier, over lunch, I couldn't find one. So it could be back the way I came and then try and find something through the woods to get back on the GPX track. It's annoying, but at least I'll live to fight another day. Well, the footpath is actually, or the gate, is actually in the corner, very close to the A14. As per the map, you go straight ahead and along via the far hedge. Now, they're moving towards that far hedge. I wonder if I could slip over the original gate I saw a minute ago and creep down the far side of the field. It's a game of strategy, this, with cattle. I must notice though that the bull is remarkably slow and ponderous at the moment. Look at the muscle on him. It's going to make a decent Sunday dinner for someone. Not me though. Although maybe not with Trump's new tariffs. Sounds like American beef could be on the table. Chemicals and all in it. There's no way over this gate either. It's got an electric cable running over it. So as soon as I got near that gate, they all came running across the field, kicking up dust, because I was getting a bit too close to their calves. So absolutely no way I can get through that field, as I suspected. Well, as you'd imagine with these barns, swallows are around here because they can easily access the barn, that's the reason being. But these kind of places are few and far between, that's a problem. You've either got humans living in them or they've been knocked down completely for new housing developments. So I couldn't get through the woodland that I wanted to get through because the track is marked private woodland and so on and so forth, and it might have been a tad risky being a private residence as well. So I'm going back this way the way I came earlier, see if I can sort something else out. Might involve a bit of road walking though. Okay, I'm on the fringes of Thurston again. That's the path I took earlier by those trees over there. So as the road on my left is too busy to walk along, I'm going to see how far I can get along this field edge. And there goes a Felixstowe bound freight train. And that's the bridge I've got to go over to get over the railway line pretty shortly. Pretty busy port. Plenty of trade going on with China. Well, there you go. As it transpires, and as I suspected, that path I've just walked up from the fringes of Thurston, beside the busy B road there, is permissive access. I certainly noticed footprints in the sand, so it makes sense as well, because that's quite a busy B road now. So that was lucky. And we're now on the fringes of Battlies Green on the map, back on the GPX track here, but having done about an extra mile and a half, I would have said, simply because of those cattle. Cycle track NCN 51. So right up close to the rail line here. So having just come through some of the village, not much to it really. Back at the Fox and Hounds. I noticed that earlier. Interesting old building outside the station, or next to the railway. I wonder if it was the old station. Fish and chips, etc. there, next to the station, and a co-op store behind me. So here we are back at Thurston, 9.5 miles and 3 hours 43 later, and that was yeah, it was an okay walk. Nothing particularly special about it. Very little in the way of outstanding features or wildlife. Just a decent day's walking in the sunshine. Nice church. Lovely vaulted ceiling in there. But yeah, can't really say much more to commend it. So, country walking, Thurston and Rougham, Suffolk, completed. Shame about the cattle, because they've added a bit onto it duplication wise that I didn't want to do, but there you go. I will not tackle them, it's just not worth the risk. And had I filmed that herd shooting across that field at me, you'll know why. But I was too keen to get off out of their way than film it. So, till the next time.